Good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday, August 26th. I have not done a proper vlog in a while. I've been so caught up in life and trying to get things situated and settled with Jerry Ann and get her into the new health, food, doing things a certain way type of thing. And it's been kind of difficult for her, not because of this factor. It's a lot of changes going on since she's been here last. Excuse me while I move there we go. A lot of changes going on since she's been gone. And I can understand how rough it can be to have something change on you while you're away. I mean, I went through that when we went from Little Rock, Arkansas to Hahn Air Force Base, West Germany, and the changes were just kind of like different, odd, and it was even more odd when we came back from Germany to the U.S. because of the way things had changed in 3 years while we were gone. So I can understand the roughness of change in some circumstances. Granted, when all the changes were happening around me, I was in my preteens, if not. See, we got back in 83, so I was about 12. So yeah, preteens. So I can understand the roughness, but the thing is, some of us get set in our own way, in our ways, set in how we want things, and making certain kinds of changes can be a little difficult. Now, some things, when they change gradually over time, you don't see the full effect of these changes until somebody points them out. So I can understand what's going on. I just don't know how to fully, I don't want to say cope with it, because it's not the word cope with it I'm looking for. It's more like trying to be there for, not only for Jerry Ann and her rough times, but deal with my own rough situations, whether it's a hard day at work, whether it's just things got to me on the way home. There's a lot of things that affect an individual person, and it depends on how the individual person deals with them, how it causes or changes them. Now, one of the things that we're dealing with on I wouldn't say a constant, but not even a regular basis just yet. Mom's getting up there in age, and I think I've said this before. She's starting to have various, I just call them elder moments, because she'll forget something that we just talked about, or she'll start to want things a certain way. And I think that's part of what caused these changes, is Mom wanted certain things a certain way because she was feeling, I don't know if I want to say overwhelmed or just displeased or whatever it was. So we've had to make some changes to our living room to hopefully, make everybody happy. So Jerry Ann was having a little bit of a rough night last night. I came in here 20 minutes ago or so. I don't know how long I've been in here. I lose track of time because I don't have a clock in here. In fact, I forgot to put my watch on. I've been wearing my iWatch on a regular basis because it counts my steps, which goes onto my phone, which counts towards my fitness program that I have on my phone. But things have been like, I wouldn't say clashing. I mean, Jerry Ann pointed out something last night. I thought I was going to sneeze. It turned into a yawn. I'm sorry. Jerry Ann pointed out something last night, because it has happened in the past, and it almost looked like it was going to happen last night, but it didn't. Not as bad as it could have. But Jan pointed out to me that, sorry, I'm still kind of waking up, my eyes got itchy. Jan pointed out to me that I, or not I, generally, not me in general, but I and sometimes when we've had 2, 3 good days in a row, the fourth day becomes somewhat of a, waiting for the other shoe to drop type situation. And I did not realize that sometimes it's a psychological issue, or sometimes it's a physical, one of us or something happens that makes the other person feel ready to just drop the ball, basically. And I was thinking to myself earlier when I woke up, and I came in here and I read everybody's comments about my last vlog or my last video, which I was like, yay, everything's good. I started to realize I've had a couple comments that I had to delete because they were like, I don't know who you are, and if you know who I was or am, you wouldn't be soliciting your desire to be a girlfriend or some nonsense like that. And I just kind of go, nope, click, bye, see you, gone. It's kind of like, where do people come from, or let alone why would people want to do something like that? All you're doing is trying to stir a pot that has basically been removed and tossed in the garbage because it's been basically overcooked. It kind of amazes me how, and I'm going to say it, I don't care what people think. It amazes me how Satan or evil or darkness or negative energy, whatever you want to call it, always somehow always attempts to insert temptation into a life that is trying to remove temptation and head towards a positive, healthier lifestyle. And it's just kind of like, really? I mean, I have my weaknesses. I have my weak moments and whatnot. And thankfully, they're becoming fewer and far between because I've been focusing so much on the positive lifestyle that I want, the positive energy, the positive foods, everything that's supposed to be good for you. Yet there's always something or someone attempting to pull you back into that negative lifestyle that you once had, which is kind of like, really? I'm actually starting to get to the point where I'm actually at the point, I should say, that I'm got so much positive stuff in me and around me and through me, and however you want to put it, that is just kind of like, that's a great test you guys sent towards me for, whatever it is. But no, I'm tired of living in shadow. I'm tired of living in darkness. I'm tired of generalized negativity. In fact, yesterday, I'm just going to go ahead and talk about yesterday real quick before I read the Bible. Yesterday, it was just me and my supervisor, boss, store owner, whatever you want to call her. She's a very nice person, very positive, very energetic, very, I don't want to say mothering, because of the fact that she does have a number of kids. I don't know if it's her eldest or second eldest daughter, about ready to have, I don't know if it's her first or second grandchild. But I met the daughter, and she's a real nice, friendly person. She's a little, I don't want to say shy, but reserved. I guess being pregnant can do that to you. I don't know. But if she's anything like her mom, she's going to be a great parent. Anyhow, yesterday we were just the two of us. I didn't schedule a third person because college kids are back in town. So during the daytime, which is the hours I work, it's quieter. In the evening time, I don't know what that's like, but from what I understand, it's gotten busier because of college kids in town, and we are one of the. I shouldn't say one of the only barbecue places in town because there's at least three, maybe four barbecue places in Rolla, but we are one of the only fast food or fast service barbecue places. Um, but anyhow, yesterday she was busy with something in the back, and we had a gentleman come in who wanted a pulled pork sandwich. Now, she's got cheat sheets by the area that you do the meats, and I had already basically put out an interest in learning how to do what we call the block, which is where we cut our meats and set them up and put them into the tray for the next person to take care of sides. Now, yesterday was also truck day, so we spent literally the first hour of the day putting away the truck and getting the store prepped for the 11 a.m. open. So I got the chance to make this gentleman his pulled pork sandwich, and I'm not afraid to say her name because she's a really good person. So Debbie, basically said it's 4 ounces worth of meat, and this is how you do it. And she just walked me through. She didn't do it. She had me do it and walked me through the process of getting the sandwich ready. Now, I had watched enough to know that you take the bun, you put some butter on it, you put it on the toaster, you get the meat, you pull off the pork butt basically, and I didn't know how much to weigh out. She told me how to weigh it out, to pull it apart, to I guess what she called fluffing it, and then putting on the season and mix the season, and then put it on the bun. Not a big deal. It was actually quite easy. I think the areas that would cause me a little, I don't want to say fear because I'm not afraid of cutting things up. I do it here at the house all the time. I think my biggest fear is making sure I get the right amount per portion per item, and then the factor of a line building up while I'm trying to do what I have to do at the block without cutting myself or messing up the process. But all in all, yesterday was, I mean, even though we were busy for the first, from 10 o'clock when we got there, we were busy doing the truck. And then 11 o'clock, we had a couple customers. We were kind of busy for like, let's say the first 2.5 hours of the day. And then by about 12:30, 1 o'clock, it started dying down. And then by three, and then of course we had like just trying to catch up and clean up and finish dealing with the stuff from the truck, and a lot of little things that need to be done, like making sauces and or setting up our backups to make sure we had enough supplies for food and whatnot, that we weren't like the evening crew wasn't running around like a chicken with its head cut off. But it was about half an hour before I was supposed to go home, which was supposed to go home at 4, about 3:30ish, 3:38 thereabouts. It was so dead. Debbie checked her labor to income ratio, and the labor was high. So she had half an hour before the next crew member was supposed to come in. So she let me go home early, which was fine by me. I mean, there was no like, are you sure? Are you sure? I was starting to hurt. I knew I had half an hour to go to push through the pain, and I was ready to push through the pain because I was like, can't leave one person home, or can't let one person go home and only have one person in the store. But she's done this multiple times, and half an hour worth of wait. Okay, no problem. So I got to go home. half an hour early, which is not too bad because there was a couple days during this pay schedule that I stayed. Well, there was one day I stayed a extra 3.5 to 4 hours because somebody called out sick her third day in a row. And by the time it was just because there was a miscommunication or something got messed up and the schedule. The person that was supposed to come in at a certain hour couldn't make it, and I had to stay like 2 extra hours, two and a half extra hours just to cover for that person until they can come in. And it was almost like, well, you're only going to be here for 2 to 3 hours to help close. But hey, I'm not looking to give horse in the mouth right now because every hour, every minute I can work over my scheduled time is money in the pocket, money in the bank, basically. But I've been having a good time. Everything's been good lately. Just one or two little hiccups because of either the past kind of. I know I don't like looking at the past, but the past sometimes dictates what the future can be like. So it's like my past and what has occurred in the past with me having so many good days, and all of a sudden or not just me, but the universe itself, throws a curveball into my life and I act irrational or negative or just act on impulse. And I've learned, and I'm still learning, that my fears and my impulses need to be reined in and controlled. Just like the whole drive from Jerry's doctor's appointment up in Jeff City. I had to face them. I had to deal with them and drive home because even though we stopped at a local IHOP for brunch, basically, or lunch, however you want to put it, after Jerry's eye surgery before her eyes got really blurry. So I helped her order. She ordered it was called the Colorado. It was an omelet with basically ham, bacon, sausage, and ham, bacon, sausage, and what was ham, pork, bacon, turkey, sausage, and there was a fourth meat. I can't remember what that fourth meat was, but it also had cheese and diced peppers, diced green peppers in it. She enjoyed it. She brought half of it home. We also got the harvest grain and nut pancakes. I got myself just scrambled eggs with some hash browns and ham and sausage. We brought home half the pancakes and half her omelet. And then and then we stopped at a gas station to make sure we had enough gas in the car, and I picked up one 16-ounce bottle of live wire Mountain Dew to keep me awake, basically, if I started feeling a little drowsy and I needed a spike of caffeine. Jerry opened up the bottle for me and handed it to me so I could take a drink. But it was like, by the time we got halfway home, she said her eyes were getting really blurry. And I knew right there and then, I was like, all right, no problem. And like I said in a comment to somebody who congratulated me for facing that fear, I basically drove if it was 60, I drove at 55. If it was 50, I drove at 45. If it was 35 during, when we were going through certain small towns, I was going basically 5 miles below whatever speed limit was posted. And luckily, the road we take, there's for a good part of it, it's a 2-lane highway. But then we get to a certain point where it goes down to 1 lane each way, which was kind of like, oh great, here comes a big truck. Just focus on the road and go straight, or stay in your lane, whatever. So I dealt with that. Luckily, there's also certain sections of the road where one side or the other split, or it gave you a passing lane, basically. So I was just like thankful for that, because then I had the chance to basically go over to the right lane and everybody can pass me without having to worry about weaving in and out of oncoming traffic. So we made it home in one piece. I made it home with a better sense of what I can do, because one of the things I've been reading that has basically been boosting some of my confidence is, ladies, this is more for men, but the gentleman who wrote this book um, did say that anybody could use the information, but it's called The Modern Viking. How to Become a Modern Viking: A Men's Guide to Unleashing the Warrior Within. That book kind of deals with men's confidence, men's physique, men's attitude. Basically, it's mostly for men on how to become a better person. Now, granted, the gentleman who wrote this he gives part of his life story in there. He was a married man, had a business of his own. He was a CEO type person and lost everything. And he had to learn how to build himself back up, and he became, I wouldn't say he became a bodybuilder, but he became muscular. And anyhow, it's got a lot of stuff in there that for me is useful, because of the fact that I'm not about the big bulky physique. I'm more about the brain. I've always had problems with my physical fitness or my physical appearance because of, one, when I was younger, being hyperactive and whatnot, I was always skinny. Two, I never worried about what people thought about my physical appearance, because it was like, this is the body I was given. I live in it. Once I die, it's basically a pile of dust. So I am more of the psychological, mental aspects of my life, because I know from past experiences that if I'm not psychologically sound, or I don't know how to describe it, but if my mind is not in the right place, or if my psychological, if my mind is more negative than positive, I don't care about anything. Don't care about my physical appearance. Don't care what other people think. Just don't care, period. That's how I get when I'm negative. I just don't care. Which I've learned is not a good place to be mentally, because if mentally you don't care, your body will basically deteriorate and fall apart and become, yeah. But if you do care, if your mind is in a positive state of being, and you get your psychological self in a healthier place, you will start to get your body in a healthier place, whether it's diet, whether it's physical fitness, whether it's anything to make your physical self look more like your mental self. Because one of the things I did learn in that book is the mind is what controls everything. And if you can't get your mind in control, and I don't mean just your conscious level brain, but your subconscious level brain, if you can't get that under control to be more positive, to be more healthy, to think better of yourself, your body won't follow suit. Your body will be like, yeah, you want me to look good while you internally don't look good. It don't work that way. So there's a lot of beneficial information in there. So if you have a husband, son, brother, brother-in-law, uncle, cousin who wants to get healthy, modern Viking would be good for them because it's a lot of good information on getting your body and your mind healthy. It has a whole lot of good stuff. And then, of course, if you as an individual, since I know most of you who view this channel are ladies, if you're having issues with dietary type issues, whether you're wanting to get healthy looking, you want to get more diet foods under control, you have hyperglycemia, diabetic, it don't matter what your dietary or your food intake is. If you want to get healthy and you want to eat good healthy foods, The Nordic Way is one book to look into because it gives you the science behind the food and then it gives you the food itself. The other thing is, if you are like my wife, she type 2 diabetic, needs to lower her carb intake. The Nordic Way gives you, on the bottom of the recipe, it gives you your carb to protein ratio and it gives you all your dietary information. Unfortunately, I don't have the book in here with me, otherwise I'd show it to you. But there is a lot of good books out there. Now, I'm not saying the Nordic Way is the only way because I don't know. I just know I've tried Weight Watchers. No. That was too difficult for my brain and it was too difficult for my taste buds at the time. Yeah, even now I probably don't know if I could eat some of the foods they're talking about. I was not in the place mentally to deal with Weight Watchers. We tried just outright going to, well, I tried it anyhow. I tried just outright going to a gym. Was not really in the mindset for a gym. So there's all different reasons why other things that I've tried did not work. Now, being as I'm getting in a better mindset and getting a better understanding of the foods, and then at my age, almost 49, seeing Jerry turn 50 and realizing, if we don't make changes for the better for our health and whatnot, she's outlived her mom. I've outlived my dad. She's outlived my dad. My dad, I don't know about her mom, so I can't talk about her mom. My dad was diabetic. We didn't know. Or I didn't know anyhow at my age. Mom knew, but mom was a picky eater. She still is slightly, but she's still trying. She's trying everything, and everything we've tried so far, she's been like, "Oh, this is great," and so all three of us have been eating better in the last 3 weeks, maybe a little bit more. But I started this as a trial before Jerry got home to make sure that, one, I would enjoy the food, and two, I can understand, what was being taught, basically. That and the factor, I was doing this mainly for Jerry Ann's health, not realizing the benefits it would be upon me, because I'm that type of person where I won't do stuff just for myself. If I'm going to do something, it has to have a higher purpose. It can't be just for me. So I'm doing this. I was starting to do this primarily for the benefit of Jerry Ann when she got back from Texas, not realizing how much I would be like, wow, I'm feeling better. I have more energy. Everything's going in a positive manner. So I was like, even though in my mindset I was attempting to do this or am doing this for Jerry's benefit, for Jerry's health, it's given me a lot of benefits. So we're doing good. Excuse me. I think this is one of the reasons why I never let myself feel joy so much, is because it caused me to cry. Anyhow, I don't know if you guys can hear this over the microphone and camera, but yeah, I'm getting hungry. So let me read this Bible. Jesus, it's gonna be another long one. I'm sorry, folks. Let me read this real quick and talk about it real quick, and then get to cooking because it's getting late. Nope. Okay, I don't have any working clocks. Today's Bible verse, which is one from my cousin Michelle, is from Kings. 1 Kings chapter 8, verse 56. And it says here, "Praise to the Lord who has given rest to his people Israel, just as he promised. Not one word has failed of all the good promises he gave through his servant Moses." Now, reading after what I've all said and reading this, yeah, I find that praising, and I don't mean just to praise God, like thank you for what you've done and all that, but to praise for kept promises, to give praise for a promise that was made and then kept. There has never been a bad promise coming from God. God makes promises, he keeps those promises. We as human beings have a tendency to make promises and either A, forget about them, or just B, outright don't even, attempt to accomplish to attempt to accomplish the promise. See, even when I was growing up, learning from my father, and I fall short from this. My father used to make promises a lot. And a lot of his promises he did fulfill. He did commit to. He did used to make promises that it was more of not a promise that was going to be kept, but more of a means of motivation. For me as a kid, because I was hyper, and my parents really did not understand hyperactivity, and the military, which is basically what everything was dealt through the military when I was growing up, because Dad was in the military. So through Dad's career, we had medical coverage, we had healthcare coverage, we had dental coverage, we had optical. I said that right. Optical, opportunities to deal with my eyes and whatnot, because I did have lazy eye. We discovered I had lazy eye back in the 80s, and that was kind of fun because when they discovered it, when they realized what it was, they gave me glasses for. I don't need glasses except for reading nowadays, or if I were to take my glasses off, my camera would be blurry. The image on the camera is blurry. I probably need to go see an eye doctor, but I don't know if that's out of pocket. I know dental is out of pocket because my medical does not cover dental. But anyhow, putting these on, words, reading, things like that, I can see better. So I know I need to go see a doctor, instead of wearing magnifying lens, whatever. But anyhow, Dad used to promise me that if I misbehaved, there was going to be a spanking. Sometimes those promises were kept. because I just could not settle down. Now, as an adult, me, I've made promises that I've fallen short on. Not that I have not tried to commit to, but I try. Now, God promised Moses to lead the people out of Israel using Moses. He accomplished that. God promised through both Moses and Joshua that they would find the promised land and settle. Now, unfortunately, in order to do that, there had to be a lot of conflict. But God kept his promise to his people. God led them to the promised land. God gave them the promised land. God made promises left and right that he kept to his people. And he made promises to David. He helped David out. David got what he was promised. Those are the days of history, legend, however you want to put it. We are so caught up in our modern day lives, in our hustle and bustle, and the noise of the cities, the noise of life in general. We don't always have the clarity of mind or the peace of heart to sit down and listen for the still quiet voice of God. We don't know what promises are being put forth by him. All we know is what's written in the Bible. Now, I'm not saying that the Bible is full of children's stories for inspirational purposes or not. The Bible has the whole Old Testament. Let's just put it this way. The whole Old Testament is the building block of what became modern day Christianity. The New Testament is literally the essence of being a Christian. And Jesus tells all kinds of stories and parables and things of that nature. Now, it is very difficult for a lot of us today to take the New Testament and all its teachings of what a Christian should be and turn it into our daily life. Now, there are authors out there, especially one that I enjoy reading a lot of, Max Lucado. Max Lucado, let's see if I can find one of his books real quick. Well, there's his perpetual calendar that I have. Okay, here we go. One of the books I've been reading, and I read it multiple times. Let's see if I can pull it out. I lost the jacket to this because I've read it so many times the jacket kind of fell apart. But let's see if this will work. It's Max Lucado's Just Like Jesus. Now, in here, Max basically writes a whole bunch of stuff as inspiration for seeing the mind and heart of Jesus and trying to live like Jesus. This one, which I still have to read, by Max Lucado. It's called Anxious for Nothing by Max Lucado. And from what I got, just from what little, and it's a study guide, so I didn't realize it was a study guide when I bought it because I deal with anxiety all the time. So some of my books that I've read are in different locations. But I have a lot of different books, inspirational writings, inspirational books for basically trying to live like a Christian. And I won't deny, I fall short. Anybody who says they don't fall short is either lying to themselves or blessed is all I can say, because I don't know of very many people who don't have shortcomings of one form or another. But I've got a number of books in here. I've got the Courageous book, the Fireproof Love Dare. I've got the War Room from the movie. I've got various devotional books. I change them off, change them around, so I'm not reading the same one every year. I thought I had another Max Lucado I want to pull out, but I can't find it. I don't know if I loaned it to somebody or if it's in a different location. But I've got like all kinds of books. I've got this one, which I really need to start reading. It's called Managing Worry and Anxiety. It's not by Max Lucado. It's by Gene Holthaus. I want to spell that last name because I can't pronounce it that well. Holthaus. And it's basically, it says here, practical tools to help you deal with life's challenges. And I really need to start reading that one as soon as I'm done with the other book. Then I have one that I only read part way through, and I need to finish it or restart it because I lost my bookmark. It is by Kyle Idleman. It's called Not a Fan. Now, Kyle was a tutor of mine when I was going to Ozark Christian College in Joplin. His father, when I went to the college, was the dean of men. He was in charge of the college. His father is now retired, I think. But yeah, I remember. It even says right here in the front of the book, Kyle's words are at once profound and practical. That was a quote from Max Lucado. You get a quote like that from Max Lucado, you know the book is good. But what I remember reading of this book is he talks about the difference between being a fan of Jesus and a follower of Jesus. Now, he uses a lot of sports quotes or sports acronyms, or however you want to put it, to compare a fan to a follower. Because a fan will be somebody who has the pictures, the banners, the whole 9 yards about their favorite ball, their favorite sports team, while an actual follower is somebody who follows everything that team does, has sports quotes and number. Anyhow, it's a very good book that I remember. I just need to get back to it because, again, a lot of the things that I do and don't do depends on this. Now, if I can't get this under control and get it straightened out, everything I read, everything I do, everything I've been doing will mean jack. It might sound harsh towards myself, but it's the truth. And the thing is, we all have various issues, various fears, various things that we need to deal with and get over and get under control to make ourselves a better person, whether it's physical, whether it's psychological, whether it's spiritual, or possibly even, I'm the one who says it all the time. I have 3 parts of my body: the physical, the mental, and the spiritual. If I can't get those aligned, things fall apart. Now, the last couple of days, things have been coming aligned. Granted, my body is still out of shape and out of whack, but the 2 things that need to be perfectly aligned in order for me to get the body part aligned are starting to come together. Mentally and spiritually, I'm starting to become, I wouldn't say whole right now, but they're on the mend. Now, once I've gotten, I'm going to say 75% of the brain working the way it should work. It's thinking better, it's healthier, it's reacting more positive to negative outside sources, whether it's an emotional breakdown or an argument or just something that sometimes causes my mental aspect to go, nope, nope, this is not going to be good. I'm learning how to make things better. I'm learning how to turn things to be a positive nature. But anyhow, um, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. It's been 45 minutes of non-stop chatter on my part, but things are getting better. So hopefully tomorrow I will be able to come on here and do another Bible verse, do some more chatting. I may or may not, either tomorrow night or tonight, do a live session. I don't know. Depends on how I feel. Depends on what's going on. Anyhow, until next time. Oh, hold on. If you enjoyed this chat, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, put it in the comment box. If you're a new subscriber and choose to subscribe, go ahead and click that button. It will cause a bell to come up. You can tap on that button, and YouTube will let you know when I put in a new video. Until next time, have a good day. Bye.